You're here as obviously for the our Dealer Fresh web chat with Rune Hauge, the myth of selling cars to millennials. Rune's from Drive Motors. I'm Ryan Girardi. Looking forward to today's conversation. Whether we call it online checkout, digital retailing, e-commerce, online shopping, whatever you call it, this is a subject that we've been hitting on for quite some time. In fact, just to give everyone a little bit of history, last year, I think, Jeff, it was Digital Dealer 19. We did an interview with Aaron over the phone, and there's a blog post about that right here that came out in August of last year. Mentioned that interview. And then I did a follow-up one earlier this year with Aaron as well, and that one you can catch on the blog as well, and you can listen to it right there. It's about a 10-minute version there. So a little history there on this conversation. I imagine most people that are listening now or watching later have probably been in and out of this conversation at one point or another. So Rune, why don't I switch over to the slide deck you prepared for us?
In the context of millennials and how to sell cars to millennials, I think it's important to understand what's going on right now in a broader perspective in the economy in general.
Jeff and I were talking about that as well. Like we were kidding how, even our shaving supplies, most of us buy online. Now, I know I do, and I don't know if you do, but obviously Jeff and I do. So getting back to Rune's point here, e-commerce is clearly becoming a way of life, and from the automotive car buying specifically, I see here you say that 72% of car buyers are willing to purchase their car online. This is based off of a study by Capgemini. Yes,
exactly, and to Jeff's point earlier, it's this is happening to all of us. It's a function of the times that we are living in. So I think that's something that dealers need to start thinking about more actively, and start thinking about how they can target these buyers and what approach will give the best results. Now that all the information is available online, whether you're a millennial or not, you will gravitate towards the internet to seek that information, and you need, as a dealership, a conversion tool to pick up on that, and specifically being able to offer your customers to at least order the vehicle online.
So let's do this, you guys, because when we talk about the idea of buying cars online, it's so natural for all of us. We go through this all the time. We always compare it to other goods that we buy, and we Amazon comes into the equation. Now Walmart's like buying TVs and your shaving needs, but buying a car is a wholly different thing. And at the end of the day, for the most part, you're not really conducting the transaction. It's a unique hybrid experience that is bringing the purchase online.
These generations, it's important to note that it's a label that we put on people based on certain characteristics, right? The years they were born. So, millennials, people born after 1981, tend to have similar types of preferences, tend to have similar types of values when they make purchases. And the same goes for people born between 1961 and 1980 and generations back too. So that's why we make these distinctions, first of all. So if you go to the next slide, not only will millennials and generations after, for that matter, make up a larger portion of total consumer spend, so more of the transactions will happen online, but previous generations will also start to become more accustomed and feel more trust about these types of online purchases.
Exactly. So the person today who's in Generation X, that would technically be my age, and I think yours as well, Jeff. But more of us are going to be accustomed to buying things online, 3 years from now than we are today, and that's what this purple graph is showing.
Yeah,
more buyers are going to embrace the preferences that millennials do embrace.
I don't know. I buy everything online. I just everything but a car.
And I can attest to this transition as well. I mean, if I skip here to your next slide for 2025, you know, the numbers are even greater. But I noticed when I was looking at my Amazon purchase history over the last 6 months, that the rate of purchasing for me has accelerated significantly from a year prior. So there's a lot of, really just truth behind this graph you're showing here. So let's get into your 3 keys to success for, to appeasing and responding to these buying behaviors.
Sure. So on a high level, there are really 3 things that you as a car dealer need to think about in order to market your products and ultimately sell your cars to not only millennials, but everyone that is now embracing e-commerce, and those 3 keys are trust, transparency, and as Ryan mentioned, familiarity.
You're listening to this abridged version of our web chat with Rune Hauge from Drive Motors, the myth of selling cars to millennials. To continue listening and hear our conversation around the 3 keys to success of how you can apply this at your dealership, text Drive Motors to 555-888, and we'll send a message to your phone linking you to all the Drive Motors content available on Dealer Refresh. Rune, Jeff, thanks, and
Thank you.
we'll follow up after this.
Thanks for having me.
Talk soon.